my
Did you
shirt.
hit live? We are live.
We are live. Survivor Specialist Phil and Alexa are back, and I don't know if anybody's paying attention, but Miami just beat Florida State for the first time in 7 years. This would have been 8 straight Florida State wins. I have kind words for the Seminole fans, but you know we'll do this little chop, and
We're
you guys
just
all know the Miami chant for that. So you know, screw that. Anyway,
screw the Seminoles. Seminoles
screw the Seminoles. Yeah, that's what it is. I'm sure it's screw the Seminoles. Seminoles screw you. It's all about the U today, and I'll do the Donna Shalala, the U, where I put a huge gap between my hands. But if anybody didn't watch that game, go back and watch it. He was totally in the end zone. It was the greatest ending ever. It was really funny. We got to rip out Seminoles fans' hearts after they ripped ours out for last year and the year before, and you know when we're winning 24-3 or something in the fourth quarter and lose. It was a great feeling. We know that this is a Survivor podcast, but hey, we got to represent the U because the U just won and we're undefeated, and Florida State's 1-3, and that is LOL, LMAO, LMFAO, hilarious.
It is. I can't decide what's better, the fact that we're 4-0 or the fact that they're 1-3, but the fact that these are both happening at the same time makes this weekend just the greatest weekend of all time.
Exactly. So I'm going to live on a diet of ice cream and candy for the rest of the year because I am just giddy as a little child right now.
Phil's going for the dad bod.
Going for the dad bod. I mean, what else do I need? Miami won, so this is great. It's 8 a.m. here on the West Coast. I went to a concert last night. Somehow I still have a voice even after the Miami game and the concert, so I'm here. And Alexa, you did a Tough Mudder, right? And now you're alive.
Yeah, we had a wild weekend. I did a Tough Mudder. It was 11 miles, 20 obstacles, and I think I decided I have to do a lot more training before I inevitably go on Survivor because I cannot, like, I'm sitting in this position, and if I move one way or if I laugh or if I like blink, I am in so much pain. But I have a bunch of cool battle scars. I did it, and I am also going to sit at home and watch football all day after this.
Don't blink, Alexa. That's the moral of that story. Don't blink.
Yes, don't blink, and certainly don't laugh.
There you go. So, okay. Anyway, we have Survivor Power Rankings and Predictions coming up. If you want to comment, leave us a comment on the last YouTube video. Or on Twitter. If you didn't read my little Phil 5, which I think is hilarious, if I just call it the 5, PHIVA, I think that's hilarious. But if you want to do that, go read that. There's a link in the description here. I mean, it pretty much just praises Will for a while. By the way, the reviews on Will's challenge were insane. I mean, people loved it. I know there was some writing that Jeff did on it. Dalton Ross loved it. Andrea loved it. Will went to that match game thing, and he was meeting a bunch of survivors who were all telling him in person they loved it. I think it was just because they want to get back on the show again and figure Will can help them. But yeah, so this was a pretty good week for the Survivor specialists here. And now we're gonna do power rankings and predictions so that Vaughn can beat the real Survivor specialists, and then we're ruined. So
and then it becomes the Survivor specialist, and it's just Vaughn.
That is just Vaughn. I got Vaughn's eliminator pick, so he's ready to go. We have that, and let's do this. Alexa,
shall we get started?
Alexa has a gigantic lead on me. She had Simone in spot 16. I had Simone in spot 8. I really didn't think Simone was going to go. So as long as Alexa's beating me, I'm just going to keep saying she's reading spoilers just because I'm a sore loser. So no matter what happens, as long as Alexa's in first, she is a spoiler reading bad girl. Had to think of a word I could say live.
And you said bad girl. Wow, this is taking a turn. Yeah, no, it's definitely weird being in the lead on things because I was so terrible last year. But I had to I had to get my feet wet. I figured it out, and now I'm not a trash talker, but Phil, I'm kicking your butt. So yeah. I'm just saying, this is a pretty good feeling.
Yeah. I think this would be the first year I'd ever lose the power rankings. If I lose, I beat Will every time, and then I beat you easily last year. I mean, that wasn't even that fun. So we'll see.
Yeah, it wasn't even that fun. It wasn't even enjoyable to beat me. Well, beating Will isn't that hard. He's good at challenges, but he's not very good at anything else.
There you go.
It's going to be a little more of a challenge beating me.
Okay, well, let's see here. Do you want to start, or do you want me to start? I mean,
do you have your power rankings? I have some, so I can start, so you can get some ideas in your head.
Well, I don't want to copy off of you, so I think I should go first.
Okay, then you go first. Yeah, good idea.
Because I woke up at 8 a.m. and I don't really have my power rankings in too much of an order here, so I'm gonna roll through this real quick. I'm gonna go Chrissy 1, not because I don't think Chrissy can. I don't think Chrissy's necessarily the safest person in the world, but the way it was drawn up last week, she's got all the power where her and Ben have all the power. So I'm going to put Ben at 2. Where it's the 2 of them who are going to sit there and they're deciding, do we want to take Alan with us? Do we want to take Ashley with us? And where do we want to put the mute? That's pretty much what they're doing right now. I mean, that's pretty much what that confessional said. JP talks to nobody, so it doesn't matter. Do we want to go Ashley or do we want to go Alan? Well, this week there's not going to be a swap. So Ben and Chrissy are in control of this tribe. So I got them at 1-2 because there is no way they go home. I don't think anybody in the Heroes tribe is finding an idol. Nobody's looking for it. And I think we got some questions about who's going to find the idol on Heroes and Hustlers. Nobody's looking for the idol on Heroes, which I think is so weird because like we saw a lot of it on Healers. I'm sure somebody's looking on Heroes, but the fact that we haven't been told they're looking almost makes me think they're not going to find it before a swap happens.
Well, that's the thing. I feel like we're at a point where everyone looks for the idol. I remember Michaela said she was looking for the idol for 2 hours a day, every single episode or every single day, but we never saw it because she never found one. So like you said, I don't know if anyone's going to find it just because it hasn't been mentioned, but who on the Healers finds an idol? If you think they're all looking, who would you say is going to find one on the Healers or Heroes, excuse me?
On the Heroes, I would probably say that Chrissy would be the one who ends up finding it because Ashley doesn't seem like she has the storyline of being scrappy. JP, I don't think it would be looking for an idol. Alan is just assuming JP has an idol. And then I think that Chrissy would be the one. Like Ben kind of seems like he's going to be the fun sidekick here. I don't feel like Ben's going to actually go on to win. But I feel like Ben's got like this fun. He's out there. He's having a good time. He's, him and Chrissy are getting along. They're in control. Like he could still be a big power player. We haven't seen as much of Ben as we've seen of Chrissy. But I think if anybody's going to find the idol, I think it would be Chrissy because I think that they're playing her up as like she'd be looking for it. She'd be doing everything. So that would be my guess.
I think it could be Chrissy, but I actually kind of disagree on Ben. I think we're not getting a lot of Ben because he started off in such a good position. So we're not going to talk about him for 2 episodes and just talk about how good he is at the game. Chrissy, like we've been talking about, has this underdog story, has this climbing the ladder story. So I think that's why we're getting a lot of her. I think either of them could very easily win, and they're both going to go really far. But I think Ben is a lot more strategic than he's leading on, because Chrissy said he's the social to my strategic. He's the likable, affable guy, and he absolutely is. But I do think there's going to be a lot of wheels churning at some point. But I think Chrissy is still the clear front runner on who would find an idol there. And maybe they'll get one next episode because there's not going to be a swap. And we'll see what happens there.
Yep. Who's your 1-2?
So my 1 and 2, I actually go Ben 1, Chrissy number 2. It's pretty interchangeable. A lot of people have Chrissy very high, and for very good reason, and a lot of people had her at their MVP vote. But apart from her confessional, which was, the best confessional that we've had this season so far, I feel like that was a build-up confessional. And I try to make my power rankings not based on an edit, but based on who can or cannot go home next week. Not at the swap, not at the merge, not at the end. Who's going home next week? And I think Ben is just defaulted at a slightly better position than Chrissy is, but to me, they're essentially interchangeable at 1 and 2.
Yeah, I would say probably like the first 5 or 6 I'm going to throw out there aren't going to go home. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'm going to go my number 3. I'm actually going to go Rourke. And that might seem like really like high considering we got nothing from her last week, but that's why I have her there. Like this, to me, this yellow tribe right now, this Healers tribe feels like Tandang. That's all I'm getting from them is their Tandang. Like we got all we got.
Also a yellow tribe.
Yeah, exactly. All we got last week was Joe and Cole. That's it. We got Jessica and Cole flirting, but we didn't actually get them doing anything together. We didn't get anything from Mike. We didn't get anything really from Desi. We didn't get anything from Rourke. And I think that's like, Tandang went into this merge with all 6 of their members intact, and then none of them ended up winning. And I could totally see that happening with this Tandang or with this new Healers tribe, where all 6 of them hit the merge, nobody wins. I just don't see how they lose this week. Because if they were to lose this week, it's got to be Jessica, it's got to be Cole, it's got to be Joe. It can't be one of the other 3, just because if it is one of the other 3, where was this storyline? Why, if Dr. Mike goes home 3rd, there's no way they didn't give a confessional in episode 2. So Dr. Mike's going to be my number 4. Because if he goes home and they didn't give him confessional in all 3 episodes he was in, that actually is a waste because he's one-line gold. So just keep they wouldn't do that. So I'm thinking that Mike's actually going to be like a big player down the line, and they're just kind of saving him now. I don't see him going. I think that Joe's going to realize he needs Mike because Cole and Jessica are going to be on to him and breathing down his neck. So I wouldn't be surprised if Joe tries to go back to Mike, and Mike's going to actually find himself in a swing position. So I go 3 Rourke, 4 Mike.
Yeah, I didn't know what to do with apart from Joe, I really didn't know what to do with the healers because exactly like you said, we haven't gotten much of them because they've been winning so much. I have Ryan and Devin at 3 and 4 because although the Hustlers just lost and they very well could lose again because we're getting a lot of content from them in the preview for next episode, they are in a very, very tight alliance. We really haven't seen much Devin other than being Ryan's sidekick, but if Ryan or Devin's story ended right now, it would seem very incomplete. Just very, oh, they're this power duo and now they're ended. So, and they're running that tribe. So I actually go Ryan, Devin, Allie, number 5. Allie, like I said last time, she's the most popular girl in school, but she doesn't have a best friend. And I'm nervous for her in that aspect, but she is so well liked. She's very strong in challenges. She just has a natural aura about her. And I have that's my 3, 4, 5, which is funny considering that I think they're going to go to tribal council, but the majority of that tribe I think is very safe.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just do them as 5, 6, 7 because I was like going with, you know, the heroes. I don't think you're going to lose. The healers, I don't think you're going to lose. I agree with you. I think the Hustlers probably lose this week. So I go 5 Allie, 6 Devin, 7 Ryan, just because. Not that I see like Ryan ever going. I don't see any of those 3 going. That's why I have them so high. But like, I guess like Ryan has a better chance to go than Devin, and I feel like Allie, she's either going to get screwed by a swap or she's going super deep. And I'm gonna use Devin as my eliminator.
Wow.
I know. Well, you know what the thing is with Devin, I worry that just like much like I worry with Allie if there's a swap, I worry with Devin that if him and Ryan are split up and they're like, hey, a merge is coming, maybe they're like, hey, let's get rid of this guy because the Hustlers. What if the Hustlers do win this week, and then they have 5, and let's say the Heroes lose and they go down to 4, and you have this Heroes tribe who's, you know, you have Chrissy and Ben who are both pretty strategic, it seems like, and they decide, hey, let's get rid of this Devin guy. He can win some challenges. Let's get him out of here. And then, you know, they might try to take down some of the bigger healers. They take down some of the bigger Hustlers, and Devin would be priority number 1. And I don't know if when Devin hits the merge, how deep he's going to go. So I'm just going to use him now because I'm still like not confident in like picking like an Ashley or an Alan or a JP. Mm-hmm. Like I already picked JP. So I'm not confident in picking like those other people. And I'm not confident in picking like a Cole or a Jessica right now. Strictly, I do think they're going super far together, but just in case the healers lose, I don't want this to turn into Joe turns it on Cole and I used Cole like an idiot. So, which is what Vaughn did. So we'll see what Vaughn did.
Which is what Vaughn did. Yeah, I think picking Devin's a good move, but I think in the pregame press, I was thinking, oh, well, Devin's just going to be wrapped in with like your Cole and your Joes and your JPs as your big, strong buff guy. And he definitely is, but he's really doing a good job of being the chill surfer bro, but not too much of that because he's definitely still playing the game at a more discreet pace than Ryan or anyone else on his tribe, but I see him going really far because he's a big, strong dude, but he's not threatening. I'm not threatened by him. Everyone wants to be his friend. Simone loved him. Everyone loves him. So I'm not too nervous for him. I think he's a safe pick. But yeah, I'm a lot higher on him than I was in the pregame press. I wasn't too high on him, but he's fun. I really like him. I hope we get to see more of him soon.
Yep.
Where did you end? I'll catch
7.
up. Okay, so 6 and 7 for me. I go Desi and Rourke, and my winner pick Desi has been pretty invisible so far.
Mm-hmm. She ain't winning.
She did not get a confessional last episode, but she got content. I talked about her being Miss Virginia, which I actually don't think is a bad thing to reveal. I know everyone has like some big things, but it kind of led to the funny like beauty Braun tribe thing, but. She where you put Rourke, Desi's not going home. She's not going home anytime soon. They're not going to just get rid of her right now, especially because she was really big pregame. So Desi and Rourke are on a winning tribe. They don't have a concrete alliance, or we don't see a concrete alliance, but there's no reason for them to go home when you have Joe running around in circles and you have a showmance going on. And you have Dr. Mike. Why do you get rid of those two?
No, and I agree. I just think Desi's not going to win. And this is what I mean by so much of like this Tandang thing is like, here you have Desi like not really getting content, but she's still saying little things about herself. So it's like you still know who these people are a little bit, but you're not really getting to know them. So I have Desi at 8, and then at number 9, I actually have God, what am I going to go? I'm going to go Cole. Oh no, I'm sorry, not Cole. I'm going to go Joe because Joe has the edge. I'm going to go Joe because Joe has the idol. And Cole might try to blindside Joe, but I feel like Joe is going to be a paranoid player with this idol. I really do. And I think that if he starts to sense something, he's going to get rid of him. I mean, he keeps saying how good he is at reading people. It could be like a really big downfall, but I also think that Joe's going to be okay.
I have Joe pretty low. I have Joe, like, much lower than you. I go Dr. Mike at number 8, and then Cole also at number 9. I have Cole and Jessica down at the bottom of the healers. Pretty much the healers are my middle ground of my power rankings, and they're kind of just randomly thrown in there. But I go 8 Mike, 9 Cole, 10 Jessica, just because those two, they are making a showman's. I know it's being played up to be a good showman's, but I can't trust a showman's. It's only succeeded one time, and it hasn't succeeded since. So I have them low, but not at the bottom because I don't think the healers are going to lose. I don't think they're going to lose the immunity challenge. So
yep.
I have them there, and then I'm going to go with Jessica as my eliminator pick. And I'm a little nervous about it, but I feel like my eliminator has kind of been all over the place, and this is a positive showman's. But like we talked about, this is only a good showman's that we're being shown. No one's threatened by it. Usually the girl is the one who goes home first in a showman's. But like you said, Cole is the one who knows about Joe's idol. Cole is the one in the preview saying, I need to end this. I need to get rid of this idol. Mm-hmm. So why would Joe get rid of Cole's buddy when he could get rid of Cole, the challenge beast, the most likable guy, his biggest threat? He's going to go for Cole before he goes for Jessica. And so that's why I have Jessica as my eliminator pick.
Well, and that's also why I have Jessica at number 10 and Cole at number 11, because Jessica, just like you just explained it, like Jessica would be the one that normally would go home first. But in this situation, if he knows that Cole is coming from her, he finds out that somebody knows about the idol, he only told Cole. So it's going to come from Cole. So he might as well just go after Cole, and he might try to rally the troops. And if he can't rally the troops, he might just use the idol to get rid of him. I could see Joe being that type of player who like literally uses an idol super early just to get rid of somebody that he doesn't think that he'll get along with, or that he thinks will end up blowing up his game. So I'll go Jessica, Cole, and then I'll do one more just so that I can get ahead of you a bit, so that, you know, this way it doesn't look like I'm copying off of you. But I'm going to go Patrick at 12. And I know you probably are going to sit here and go, Patrick's going to lose. Patrick's going home. Lauren is going home if they lose. Patrick is not going home. It really seems like the Patrick thing was just like, hey, Simone is getting all the votes. Patrick needs to get one vote. So let's play it up like it could possibly be Patrick. I think they did a really good job editing that episode. That's all. I just think it was a really well-edited episode, and that's why it looked like Patrick was going to go home. I don't think Patrick is as far on the outside as it's seeming. I do think Lauren is getting a bit of an underdog at it, which is why I'm having a really hard time pinpointing exactly which tribe is going to go to tribal. It's really weird.
So that was a very well-edited episode, and I was reading Simone's Hollywood Reporter exit interview, and take this for what it is, but from what she said, we received the tip of the iceberg on Patrick. And I rewatched the episode this morning. No one's laughing at his jokes. People, they're doing the uncomfortable laughing because I can't not laugh at this thing. I think they are really, really annoyed with him. They're keeping him because, like Allie said, like Ryan said, I can just drag him along and do what I want with him. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's good in challenges, but there comes a point where annoying does overcome challenges. And Ryan was talking about the swap this past episode. There's a swap coming, and it's definitely going to come the week after next. So why keep him around? He's just a liability at that point. I don't think he's locked to go home, but I am definitely not putting him at number 12.
Here's why you keep him around. You keep him around because right now you know Patrick. If you're Allie, you keep Patrick around because you need a puppy dog, and you have a puppy dog in Patrick. And the problem is with Lauren, yeah, she's being played up as like the underdog, and I don't necessarily know if Lauren's going to go home this week, but she doesn't look like she's having an easy time fitting in. You don't want that person around when you hit a swap because you want your army in line behind you. If Allie gets swapped and she gets on a tribe with Patrick, that is great for her because there's no way Patrick is running to the other side and getting rid of Allie. But if Allie gets swapped with Lauren, who might have felt like, hey, they didn't really respect me over on my tribe, this is where Allie goes home. So I think that's why you keep Patrick. And also, coming from Simone also went home second. I mean, Simone also didn't get along with that tribe at all. So, like, I don't really know if I can take it completely as like, gospel, you know, that
that's why I said take with a grain of salt. But to Simone's point and to Vaughn's point, she is extremely observant. She sat in the background and watched everything. I mean, I believe what she said. I mean, tip of the iceberg, of course, that part's true.
Oh, that totally makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think Lauren's not gelling with her tribe. I think she's not gelling with Patrick, and that's kind of broadcasting out to the rest of the tribe. But she and Allie seem to have a perfectly fine relationship. She and Ryan seem to have a perfectly fine relationship. She and Devin probably don't have much of a relationship, but just by transitive property, she probably has a decent relationship with him. I don't think they don't respect her. I think it's just not as natural of a connection, but there's not no connection. So one of the two of them goes home in this, if assuming they go to tribal, one of the two of them goes home.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And so I totally agree with you on that. And I don't think Patrick's safe by any means. I mean, I enjoy watching him because it's funny and it's ridiculous. Like it's just so out there. But like, you know, it's always hard when these people get voted out because it's the same thing like Figgy had said in her exit interview that Taylor gets his revenge on Adam. Taylor didn't get his revenge on Adam. Like, get out of here. You know, like so like she always like people I feel like throw stuff out there and like Simone goes home second. She doesn't seem that bothered by the fact that she went home, which also kind of like, yeah, she's observant, but there's something about Simone that just like isn't Survivor. And I think that's kind of like what I'm getting
at. She's not Survivor at all. And she said
that.
But that's I think she went into this knowing that she was like the Asian female, and Asian females just have a horrendous track record. She knew up front she was going home early. She essentially said that. So I think she was, I don't want to say complacent, but I think that's why in her exit interview she was so like, this is the way it is, because she pretty much knew it was happening before it happened.
Exactly, but this is also why I'm saying, like you said, take it with a grain of salt. But this is also why I'm like reiterating that point of like, this is a girl who doesn't really get the game all that much. So like,
no, I think she completely gets the game.
I don't know though. I don't know because I don't think she understood what she had to do to actually assimilate into that tribe, as we saw.
But I think she knew that she couldn't assimilate into the tribe.
She could. Everybody can assimilate into the tribe. We've seen that. David assimilated into his tribe. Denise assimilated into her tribe. Courtney Yates was not the first boot in Survivor China.
Well, yeah, but those are people who did assimilate. Zane didn't assimilate into his tribe.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Everybody has the ability to assimilate. I just don't think Simone
has the ability to, but she
I don't think Simone could. No, I think she could have. I just don't think she made the right moves at the right time. She
said that she didn't do that.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. But she does have the ability. She just didn't do it.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying.
No, but you had said that she couldn't assimilate into her tribe. I don't think that she did the right steps to assimilate.
That was semantics. Yeah.
Yes. Well, that's what I'm trying to say is like I think that she definitely could have. She just didn't do it the right way. So, but anyway, who do you got?
She's gone. Yeah. Where did you end up?
I ended with Patrick at 12. So I put down the rest of mine too. So we're all clear now.
Okay, we're all clear now. Okay, so I go. So now I'm flipping back to the heroes. My healers were in the middle. So I go JP at 11, Ashley at 12. JP's like we talked about last week. He's not going home, but he's not really relevant for a very long time. He's just going to be the guy who catches lobster and gives them lobster and then goes
Survivor first. Just saying. I'm just gonna keep reiterating.
That was pretty cool. He caught it with a spear, which is super cool.
I'm surprised Jeff didn't run out onto the island like Survivor first, like pointing at him.
I know. Yeah, we've had like stingrays, we've had like massive fish, we've had octopus, but that was pretty cool. So good on you, JP. You're going to be a trivia answer someday. Yeah. So I have JP and Ashley. They're down at the bottom. Chrissy said when Chrissy was doing her analysis of all the players, she was saying JP's not that smart and she doesn't trust Ashley. Ashley would probably go home before JP. And I'm not very high on them. I feel like they're in a very awkward position. And on a small tribe, there's nowhere to hide. And now you have the power couple of Ben and Chrissy. You have Alan running around like a maniac. And then you have JP and Ashley who are kind of like sitting ducks on their tribe.
Yeah, I have JP at 13, Ashley at 14, Alan at 15, and then Lauren at 16. So I just killed mine because I wanted to talk about all these heroes as one. So I got Lauren at 16. I talked about that enough. Mm-hmm. The reason I go JP, then Ashley, then Alan is Chrissy and Ben can't. I don't think you can take Alan because JP doesn't like Alan. So what's the point of trying to – you want to try to forge a 4-person alliance right now because if there's a swap or something and you all end up together, you want it to be as close as possible. If a swap happens and you have Alan and you got rid of Ashley and Alan ends up on your tribe, there's a good chance that Alan's going to try to backstab you. And you can't have that happen. So that's why I think that Alan would be the first person they would get rid of here because to keep him around, you're just keeping around Dynamite. And you just don't want to do that. Like, I just don't see why they would choose him over Ashley and JP, who seem easily controllable and quiet. And they make sense.
Oh, you just froze up on me. Can you say that one more time?
They make sense.
What was the whole sentence?
Oh, I just pretty much said that they make sense. That was like the moral of the story.
That makes sense. Yeah, but so I go to finish mine off. I go 13 Alan, 14 Joe, 15 Lauren, 16 Patrick, and we kind of broke it all down. Alan, like you said, Alan is the clear bottom of the tribe because Ashley and JP are not a power couple, but now they're a couple by necessity. So you have 2 and 2, and then you have Alan in the middle, which is just
which one did you do? You say your order again?
I go 13 Alan, 14 Joe, 15 Lauren,
16 Patrick.
And then
my internet is acting weird real quick. I'm gonna go do something and I will be right back. Alexa, talk about what you're gonna do after this episode. I will be back in like 2 minutes. I don't know what the hell is going on.
I will break it down after this episode. Or I'll break it down. Go fix your router or whatever's going on. So like I was saying to Phil when he wasn't listening, so we have JP and Ashley who are a power couple by necessity at this point because we have Chrissy and Ben who are the real power couple. Those two are disliked by Alan, so they need to stick together. And then Alan is your guy in the middle. And he's a very odd person to be as a swing vote because he's proven himself to be very erratic. He'll probably lean towards Chrissy and Ben, but we'll see what happens there. Joe, I have at number 14. He has an idol. This might be one of the lowest placements I've ever had someone with an idol this early, but he doesn't seem to have much of a connection with anyone. He's already scared Mike off. Cole doesn't want to work with him. Cole said on Twitter that he didn't mean to give Joe the idol clue. It kind of just slipped out accidentally. So he doesn't have any friends on the tribe, and I really don't think Rourke and Desi are going to move on with him too. So I think he's going to hold on to the idol. I think he's trying to play a long game, but we'll see what happens there. So what we're going to do after the episode, Phil's going to come back. We're going to talk about boot list scores, prop bet scores, and then we're going to do MVP, LVP. And since Phil and I, on Wednesdays, I've been doing my hot takes after the episode. Phil's been doing his Phil 5 after our podcast, after MVP, LVP vote.
My roommate changed the Ethernet out because I have an Ethernet and he has an Ethernet. So hopefully this works better. No. He did it before. I didn't actually go look.
Okay, got it. You're already better.
Okay.
So what I was saying is I kind of broke down the rest of my power rankings, but as I was leading into, we're going to do the boot list scores, prop bet scores, and then MVP, LVP. So on Wednesdays, right after the East Coast episode, I've been posting my 5 hot takes from the episode. Then after Phil and I break down the episode on the podcast, Phil has been doing his Phil 5 PHIVE.
Never gets old.
his Phil 5, which is awesome. So Wednesdays were pretty covered, and Phil and I were just talking before we went live here. Every time the MVP is voted, I'm going to do a spotlight on that person. So Sunday nights, Monday mornings, sometime after MVP, LVP is the vote is revealed, I'm going to break down that person, figure out why they went MVP, how well I think they've done, how far I think they're going, just like a quick 1 page on how that person's doing. So you guys vote for MVP, and I'm going to break it down afterwards.
Yes, and this week it was Chrissy, right? Did you talk about that already?
No, I didn't, but I can do that now. Yeah, so MVP, we had a pretty obvious Chrissy. There was a lot of Allie in there too. A couple Ryan votes and then a Cole vote, which I thought was very odd. And then LVP, we had Patrick pretty much ran away. Patrick ran away with it. We had a lot of Cole votes, a couple Joe votes, which was also odd, and a Lauren vote. The Joe and Cole vote is funny because you would think that those were voted together. So you would think that Joe would be the MVP and Cole would be the LVP, but to each their own. Yeah,
okay. And just to update on the fantasy game real quick, Vaughn has 37, Alexa has 36, and I have 34, but I have the whole team intact. It is, what did we say? We said it was, you had to, there was no idol. We didn't have the idol thing. That's right, we didn't have an idol thing. I thought there was definitely like an idol play. Hang on.
We had an idol non-play.
Correct idol play is 3 points. That's what it is. Yeah, so we haven't had an idol play yet, but I have Joe on my team, so maybe he'll play the idol right, and I'll get that. So I'm down, but I have the most people, so I'm not worried about it yet.
Who did you get for eliminator? Sorry.
Who did I put? I put Devin.
Okay.
Yeah, it was Vaughn went Cole, I went Devin, you went Jessica, right?
Yep. Just writing it down.
There you go. All right, you want to jump into some Twitter comments then?
Yeah, let's go on Twitter.
I can't wait to listen to this podcast afterwards and find out why you put Patrick in last.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, hopefully that's it. I move in a week, so hopefully after that, I don't ever have to worry about where the Ethernet is ever again.
I know, yeah. We can have
so-
two, both of us will have good internet. That'll be exciting.
Wouldn't that be wild?
That has never happened.
There you go. So Tyler Bellmeyer said they're not crazy, they're confident. That was in response to the U pulling out that win, just in case anybody's wondering. So I'll just keep going with that.
If you want to talk about confidence, we freaking wear a turnover chain whenever we get a turnover. It's amazing.
Yeah, if you haven't seen that, it's freaking hilarious. The swag chain. It's so funny.
It's this massive gold chain that probably weighs like more than I do, and they wear it after they get a turnover.
I love how too, like after they get like a turnover, they're like running to the sideline, like looking for it. Like they're
I
just
need
looking
my
for the
chain.
guy who has it. Yeah. Like, oh my God, where is it? Where is it? I was like thinking, we were like, when do they give it back? And I was like, no, man, they just walk around campus with that. Like,
yeah,
like,
you earn that thing.
And that is definitely something that like the football team at Miami would do, is like the last guy to get a turnover in that game would definitely walk around our campus with that chain on and just be like, I'm the man.
Oh, of course. And that's what I love so much about it. Like Phil and I were at Miami during the Al Golden era, which was probably the most like vanilla era of Miami football ever. And now we have Mark Richt, who's very like by the book, very like, strong-willed. And then to just have this like gaudy turnover chain with him
is so funny. Yeah.
I absolutely love it.
I know. It's pretty damn funny.
Anyways,
okay. Yeah. Anyways, now that we've gotten all that out.
So next up is Gamer Girl. Is Patrick the most underrated player of the season so far? I don't get why people are hating on him. I think a lot of people are hating on him just because he's like kind of causing a mess. I don't know if he should be hated. I don't think he's playing the best game, but he's pretty funny. In terms of most underrated, I wouldn't say so just because I wouldn't rate him that high on the opposite end. I think like Chrissy could have been underrated. I think Mike could have been underrated. I don't think Patrick is the most underrated.
Yeah, and it's so hard because we're 2 weeks in. So like underrated, I mean, there's going to be somebody who's going to emerge that everybody's going to like love, who gets like 8th place, and everybody's going to be like, that was the most underrated player. Like right now, I mean, we're 2 episodes in. Patrick could also be like the most useless player on this season. We really don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Gamer Girl says, who do you think will find the idols for Heroes and the Hustlers? We kind of talked about, we agree on Chrissy. I think if the Hustlers need somebody to find it, I'm going Ryan. Like 100 times out of 100, because I don't think the other 4, like Allie's the only other one who I think could find it. And Allie, I don't think is really she's probably looking, but I don't think Allie's going to be looking super hard. I think that Ryan's the one who's going to end up doing it. Allie doesn't feel like there's an idol in her future.
Yeah, Allie, I would say, obviously for me, it's Ryan, no questions asked. I would say Allie just because I think she's a smart player, but I think her social game is going so well that she's not going to be looking for an idol out of desperation. She's not going to be searching for an idol because she has to or else she's going home. But out of those two, or out of the entire tribe, it's buying away those two. And then Hustlers, Heroes, we said it was going to be Chrissy.
Yeah. Because there's no way Devin's finding one, Patrick's not finding one. Lauren's not going to find one, so yeah. Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Gamer Girl again. Why do you think some people are hating on this season? I'm really liking this season so far. I'm really happy with where it's going. I haven't heard a lot of hate for it, but I can't imagine why people are disliking it strictly because of the bounce back from Game Changers.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, so we're 2 episodes in. Everybody just, I mean, it's like the first episode was short, so I think that's where like the complaint comes. Mm. The second episode I thought was great. I mean, I don't know what more you could want. I know I was talking to Vaughn a lot yesterday, and we were just talking about how like we're excited to see where this cast is actually going. It doesn't always happen super early. I mean, if you remember Co-Wrong, I wasn't necessarily invested in the cast right away. I was more invested in just the fact that they seemed like they were game players. You know, Jason seemed crazy. Scott seemed crazy. Like, that's what I was more invested in, more so than like, oh, man, I really want Michelle to win. Or, oh, man, I really like Julie. Or, oh, I really like Nick. Like, I didn't know. So that's kind of like what I'm saying here is like Debbie seemed like she was kind of crazy. Joe was kind of just like the old man who was doing stuff pre-merge. So, I mean, I would say like here I'm more invested in the characters already than I was in Co-Wrong. Maybe even than I was in Millennials vs. Gen X, just because there were so many people in Millennials vs. Gen X. And, you know, when Mari goes home, you're kind of just like, okay, where do we sit here? I really don't know what's going on.
Yeah, you bring up a good point with Co-Wrong because it is really similar. This, I just think, has a really fun cast and good strategy. And the production is doing a really great job of balancing out both of those together. That's why I love this episode so much. Episode 1 was short and rushed, and yeah, that was difficult, but it's fine.
Yeah, exactly. It's getting there.
Phil, you need to answer this next question.
Giovanni Rihanna, what hair color would you not trust? I don't know. What hair color does Lauren have? Is it blonde? I wouldn't trust blondes then.
Yeah, dirty blonde with short hair. Can't trust him.
Because certainly blondes don't trust redheads, so I'm out on blondes. And based on my life history, I hate blondes. So, just get blondes out of here.
Based on Phil's long, ripe life history.
Yeah, exactly. In 25 years, a blonde's never been kind to me.
Oh my gosh.
Does Will have blonde hair? What would you consider Will's hair?
I think it's crap. I've actually never met him in person, but it's crap. Could you say crap brown?
Yeah.
It's the color of urine.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. It's like one of those you look at Will all the time, but you're just so distracted by everything else, by his Greek Adonis bod that you don't really look at his hair. So.
Oh my God.
So anyway,
Larry Miller, JP is the human equivalent of white stale bread. He's a pawn, and unlike John Mish, he's not a goofball. I like how white stale bread was capitalized.
Yeah, like as if like WSB, bro. Like everybody knows that.
I bought it at Stop and Shop the other day.
Yeah, exactly. You got Gamer Girl. Is Patrick being goofy for strategic reasons, or is he like that in real life? He's like that in real life.
I think that's his real self.
Yeah, he's playing it up.
Yeah. Giovanni, who's going to be the casualty of the pre-merge / swap? Pre-merge, I think I'm going to take that as like who will be the casualty of the swap. I think that could be an Allie. That could even be a Chrissy. I'm thinking that could be a Desi. People in good positions who, if their stars don't align on a swap, they lose. Very Sandra of last year.
Yeah, and now that you kind of said that with Desi, that would make sense if there was also like if a healer is going to go home, if one of the healers who goes home is like Rourke or Desi, who goes home early, and it's because they get screwed by a swap, so we're not getting too much of their storyline.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking with them. But hopefully, none of those three go home.
Yeah, and then let's skip that next one. That just seems like a trap question, and we'll go to Travis Heron. Is Phil the Patrick that doesn't suck? I mean, I would go out there and I would probably. I wouldn't be as like goofy as him, but I would definitely be out there to have a good time. But
Yeah, you definitely have to go out and have a good time and like be your goofy self. But playing it up is always scary.
Yep, exactly.
Playing any party or personality very, very high can be
Which
dangerous.
is what's scary because that's like what people do when they're nervous and in a situation they're uncomfortable in. Poor Patrick.
We should feel bad for him.
We should. Let's go. Let's go over to YouTube where Giovanni Rihanna says, "I think Lauren will go home only because it's her or Patrick, and who's more likely to be on this podcast." It's obviously Patrick. So I hope you're right in that count.
Oh my God! If we had Patrick on this podcast, there would just be too much red everywhere.
I wouldn't even ask him like if he wanted to come on. I would just send him a picture of myself with a question mark, and he would just be like, "Yeah, dude, I'll come on." Like he would know what that means.
Like, cool, Sunday at 8, I'll be there.
Yeah, Sunday at 8. Yeah, there you
go. TWD Pepper, we didn't talk about this. I'm surprised we got a decent intro this week, not just a flash of the season's logo. And that's just because the first episode, we had to introduce everyone. We had to get someone voted out. We had to talk about 3 different tribes. And this episode was so well paced, even with the shorter intro. So maybe they'll really surprise us and do the full one, but that's not going to happen.
And that's the whole thing that, with this, when we get these hour-and-a-half episodes as opposed to an hour, they're only 15 minutes longer. But the thing is, Jeff talking and getting them off the boat is like a 10 to 15 minute escapade anyway. So that really is your additional time, and then you get a full Survivor episode. The problem is by making it a short episode, you have to fit in Jeff talking about the season, getting everybody, pumped, having them do a brief little intro, jumping off the boat. And now you've already wasted 10 to 15 minutes. And it's like, oh my God, how are we going to fit in the rest of this episode? That's why it's so rushed. And that's why the hour and 30, 90 minute, I think is the perfect premiere length.
Yeah. So it sucks it didn't happen, but we've already talked about it. It's the way the chips fell.
Yep. We got Jeff Coaster. I think Patrick is 100% gone next week. Him or Allie. I really think they are going to be the next 2 boots. I think Ryan, obviously running the tribe, is absolutely playing the long game and not the short game. Next week, he and Devin will pull in Lauren. Lauren will function as Ryan's Joe DeCampo, solid number 2. This is a really long thing, but I'm just going to stop there. I didn't realize I hit show all and I almost passed out. Okay, but we're just going to stop there. Yeah. So he's saying that Ryan's going to pull in Lauren as a Joe. And I could see that. I could.
I could see that too, but I think Lauren is a little more strong-willed. I don't think she'll just be a puppy dog. I think Patrick's more of the puppy dog. But yeah, I actually could see that working because I think Lauren and Ryan do connect pretty well. Ryan's connecting with everyone on his tribe very, very seamlessly. And then I'm actually going down Jeff Coasters. He's saying, basically, I think Pat equals Farm Guy 69 and Allie equals Kelly Wentworth 1.0 in this instance. That's a pretty good comparison there, because they are a bit married to each other, at least for the short term. Allie can't really let go of him. And I feel like, I don't think it's going to come out, but I feel like their tribe probably knows that they do have some outside connection.
Yeah, yeah.
They definitely told them.
Yeah, definitely. Jeff Coaster says, what did y'all think of the eulogy Probst gave Will in the Entertainment Weekly this week? I mean, that was awesome. That was dope. He's talking about how cool the challenge was and how cool Will is, which, I mean, clearly Jeff probably didn't talk to Will then out there on the island because he would have known differently.
Yeah, Will actually wrote that part himself.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that was one of those, like, here, write your own recommendation letter. I'll sign it. And that was Will giving his own answer there.
Exactly. Anthony Beam. Oh, we didn't talk about this. Did anyone else think Joe is dumb for thinking the clue is buried next to a mobile object? To quote ESPN, come on, man. I thought that was silly.
Yeah, I was confused by that too, and that's why I was surprised Cole told him, because like it doesn't make sense. Like obviously people are moving the raft all the time, unless their raft is like tied to a post or something. Like there's no way that it could ever be by the raft. Otherwise, you'd have a production guy running around all the time with moving the idol around.
Yeah, no, exactly. And Cole, I said this when you were fixing a router. Someone, I think it was like Stephen Fishback or someone, tweeted about Cole, and Cole responded saying, I instantly regretted like the moment that I told Joe where it was. Like it was a word vomit, heat of the moment kind of thing. So I really don't think he wanted to. I think it was just like, oh my gosh, I know where the idol is, so I'm just going to accidentally say it out loud.
Yeah, exactly. The Real Negro, I'll say this about Alan. He is going to benefit a lot from another 3 days with his tribe. He obviously calmed down, and now he has more time to make a better impression with his Ben and Chrissy. I think Ashley will be next. It's obviously that Chrissy thinks Ashley's a smart player, so I think that is the nail in Ashley's coffin. People can talk shit about Alan, but there are some out there thinking JP and Ashley are an alliance.
I mean, they are an alliance. They are.
Yeah.
But now it's an awkward alliance because they were targeted for something that they're not, and now they're alienated, but now they're a fallback alliance.
Yep, exactly. It's very interesting how that's going to shape up. I kind of hope the heroes lose again because I want to see them. I want to see them go to tribal. I'm like the most invested in that.
Yeah, I like them a lot.
Ben Calibrad. Oh wait, this is you.
Ben Calibrad. Does anyone think they'll repeat last season's twist of having 2 out of 3 tribes go to tribal council and vote as one group? That'd be an interesting shape up of the season's quote unquote easy gameplay of getting rid of the weakest first, especially if both tribes have 5 members each. I don't think they'll do that, and I also really hope they don't do that. But in terms of the easy vote outs, Jeff was talking, I think it was like an Entertainment Weekly article, and Jeff was breaking down the episode and why Simone went home. And again, this could just be a total red herring, but he said there aren't any more easy votes. The 2 people who went home were the 2 quote unquote outcasts. There really aren't many outcasts left, especially with a swap incoming. So this easy gameplay, it's not bothering me. This is normally what happens in the first 2 episodes of a season. But if this is how they decide to shake it up, I will not be happy.
Yeah, and I don't think that they voted them out because they were weak. I just think that, like you said, it was because they were outcasts. Like Simone and Katrina weren't viewed as like a part of the tribe. That's why they went home. They didn't go home because like, oh my God, they blew the challenge for us. Like that wasn't the reason. And like they kept Patrick over Simone because I think Patrick did fit in a little bit better. And I think like, yeah, he's pissing off Lauren, but he's only pissing off Lauren. Everybody else can look at him and say, dude, Simone is just so out there. We can't ever work with her. We got to get rid of her. I think that's why.
Completely agree.
Mandy Brown, Culver's Joe, who will triumph. Also, can we take a moment to admire Patrick's penmanship? I have to go back and look at his vote.
I know, I actually wrote that down. He has like Eric Reichenbach levels of print. Well, not the fun, like the bubble letters or anything, but just like he's like a typewriter. It's beautiful.
That's insane. Well, anyway, I think that in the end, a mix of Cole or Jessica will end up triumphing over Joe. I don't know if Cole will necessarily beat him, but I think then Jessica would. So one of them's going to take down Joe.
Yeah, for sure.
Ethan Hazel.
Okay, sure. Phil, why do you think Allie won't make the merge?
It's not that I don't think she will. I just think she's in danger of not because she's being played up. She's very well spoken. She's great confessionals. she's almost like too good to be true. And I could see just if there's a swap, I just see her as such a threat to other people. They're going to look and be like, Allie is in control of that tribe. I think that they're almost going to look past Ryan and be like, there's no way he could be in control of that tribe. But Allie, I feel like they would say, you know what? She's probably in control.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. She's an obvious threat just because of how she carries herself.
Yep, exactly.
You want to go?
Nick P, the thing that I don't understand about Ryan is that why doesn't he send up immediate red flags to people? He's not a big guy, and he's obviously intelligent. Rob C. Todd, Fair Play Cochran, all good players that have been known to be crafty in some way. It's like when Jean Robert said, I don't trust you to Todd. I agree. I wouldn't trust him either, and the same red flag should be up for Ryan as well. People keep trusting the innocent-looking players who always seem to be able to manipulate their way further in the game. They just look really smart and shady.
So I think I agree with that because he's definitely really smart. But he's doing it in a really subtle way. He's not running this tribe. It's not clear that he's running the tribe. It's clear that Allie's running the tribe. He's just kind of making friends. We have to remember that the player that we see is super different from the player that the contestants see. So someone in their confessionals is not who the rest of Ryan's tribe is seeing. So they're seeing like just kind of more of a chill guy. But I don't know. The thing is, you need a Todd early on. Like, Ryan could go on to win, but if you could go on to win, don't you want to come along for the ride with him? Don't you want to work with someone who's thinking on a long game? Why would you vote at that person first? It wouldn't make sense.
No, I totally agree. And I also think, like, the thing with Ryan is, like, I think people are just underestimating, like, a lot of these people where it's like, how did they get cast? And it's like, well, that's what you have to be thinking is, like, they got cast for a reason. There's something that production saw that said this guy can still win the game because they're trying to put people out there who can win the game. And so I think that if you see Ryan, you got to be worried about him more than some people are. So I kind of agree with this. But I don't know if I'd necessarily be like, I got to get rid of him, but I would definitely be keeping an eye on him.
Yeah. This one. Arcs 13. JP is nothing like Tyler. Tyler's a strong guy who got little to nothing. We're getting something from JP. JP is more like hilariously bad. I think they're being compared just because they're like strong guys who aren't getting much content. But I completely agree. Tyler like could have been a very interesting character. We just weren't given anything.
Yeah, exactly. Gamer Girl, I disagree on Patrick going pre-merge. I really hope he makes the merge. If he's pre-merge, he'll end up being the bootless killer. I don't want him to be the bootless killer. He's also too nice for me to give him LVP. But you're in love with Gamer Girl's in love over here with Patrick.
Just absolutely in love. He was a weird one too. People had him early. People had him late. People didn't really know what to do with him.
I want to read this one real quick because I was so pumped about it. Args 13, you guys forgot to mention the hilarious part where Ben was pouring water on a Chrissy. We did forget to mention that, and that was hilarious.
He was pouring it onto Ashley.
As
Chrissy was narrating it, but that was amazing. That was so funny. I can't believe we forgot to talk about that.
I know. And then Arcs 13 also says, was Alexa thinking that Phil lives on the East Coast with her when she unintentionally sent him a spoiler? You'd think she know I don't live there, considering we couldn't podcast till midnight.
Yeah, considering that I'm half asleep every time we're podcasting.
Exactly.
No, I don't know what it was. It was just a moment of weakness.
There you go. Well, hopefully you don't get those all season. Hopefully those are one and done.
Yeah, well, now that I know how to score it and I just know that I'm not going to speak to you for 3 hours on Wednesday night, it's all good. You always text me during the episode, and I don't know if you can't tell, but I just don't respond to you because I want us to save all of our content for this, and also because knowing me and my history, I'll just tell you what happens.
Just tell me everything, huh?
Ugh. Where are we going? A lot of MVP. Phil on the East Coast.
Squidicorn.
Squidicorn. Hey guys, I don't know if this is already accessible, but is there any way we can see the spreadsheet with our prop bet point counts? Does anyone know where we can find it, and if possibly link it to me? That'd be great.
What
should we do with that? Yeah.
Okay, here's what we should do. We should put every week. We should put like the top 10 to 15 onto the Facebook page so that people can go and look at it, and then that gives people a reason to go to our Facebook page. So there you go. You've heard it here. This is on the fly, Alexa. I hope you're cool with that.
No, I want that.
Yeah, because you did the Facebook page in the first place anyway. So let's get people over there. We'll do it. I guess we can do it. We can start doing it maybe on like Saturdays or something. We don't have to do it now, but I guess we could throw it up there today. And then that could be kind of how people find their, where they stand prop bet, where they stand on the boot list. I'm sure you're all keeping track of your own. So if you see somebody has 10 points and you have 4, you know that you're not doing very well in terms of prop bet. But Yeah, I think that that's what we should do, just because I know sometimes when we roll through this, we forget to announce it or we forget to talk about it. Or in the case of last week and probably this week, we don't actually have the top 10 right now, do we, Alexa?
No, we certainly do not.
No, we do not. So I'm thinking that if we throw it
Why
over.
would we ever prepare for our own podcast?
We do have it. We do. Well, that's the thing. We do have it like scored.
Yeah,
but
I have it up on the tab right now.
That's the easy part. Yeah, you're going to have to scroll through it, and then it's going to be just like a. So I think that's what we should do. We should put it up on the Facebook page. This way people can actually see it. They can see it like visually and say, okay, I'm this many points behind, or of course this guy's in first. And then you can also keep track like throughout the year of like, if a guy was in first after week 2 and then he's nowhere near the top 10, at least you got to get an idea. Like you're never out of it until you're out of it. So
yeah,
I think that's what we should do.
I think that's a perfect idea. We can put it on the Facebook page, or we could just put it on the website and link it through Facebook too. So
either way, yeah,
we will definitely do that.
Website's getting there, one step at a time.
TBD.
Anderson Frazier, I don't like the Tyler JP comparison only because Tyler actually knew the game and made some connections, but JP got tight with the irrelevant lifeguard girl whose name I can't think of. He hasn't done anything since then that I can predict. I predict a boot pretty soon.
Irrelevant lifeguard, ouch.
I know, geez. But here's my thing. Like the reason that I said that JP and Tyler are similar is because like they're both just kind of like the quiet, like you would think that they could go on to win this game, but like there's just something about them that's just like not going to win the game. And they also like aren't the greatest screen time. So that's kind of my thing. Like I think Tyler was like a pretty funny guy and all that. And like a lot of his Ponderosa stuff was great. And a lot of his preseason stuff was great. But there was just always something about him that was just not going to be the Rodney of that season.
Yeah, no, not at all. Brochacho Survivor, am I the only one who thought Chrissy was being analytical in ways I didn't even know imaginable? She literally makes a data table for each person on her tribe for her odds. Yeah, if Chrissy's personal item was Microsoft Excel, she would have just had like data tables, pivot tables, like formulas everywhere. It would have been amazing, and I actually probably would have really liked it.
Yeah, I know. Well, maybe she could have, and then she could have told us like how to easily just say what the top 10 scores are for everything.
Yeah, oh my God.
Brochacho Survivor, why does everyone keep calling Joe Tony? He's clearly more of a combination between Tony and Rodney after tonight. Oh, because he looks more like Tony.
Yeah, I think people are calling him Discount Tony, which I actually feel kind of bad about. That's kind of like a pretty crappy thing to be called. Yeah, he's like, he's the tattooed bald cop. So you got that part going on. He's running around looking for idols. But he's playing a different game than Tony. It's Tony-esque, but no one can play Tony's game. But, he's not exactly like Tony. They are different people.
Yeah, exactly. I think like somebody on like Inside Survivor RHAP like actually did like a mashup of the two of them together, and it doesn't look that much different.
Yeah, they do look super similar.
Yeah, exactly.
Is it your turn, my turn?
You.
Jeff Steinberg, I think the safest person is Ben. Seriously, he's proving social. He's great in strategy. Yeah, Ben, I mean, we both put him at the top of our power rankings. Ben is in a fantastic place.
Yeah, well, exactly. And you put him at 1, I put him at 2. So I don't think he's the safest person.
Was it Ben and Chrissy you said were supposed to hate each other, or Ben and Ashley were supposed to hate each other?
It was Ben and Chrissy. I was totally wrong.
Yeah.
Ben is a lot. I figured Ben would be like a fun guy, but he's a lot more fun than I actually thought.
Yeah, he's like super chill too.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of what I wasn't expecting. Jason Hurley, if you guys are making shirts, they've got to say should have snaked the draft. I totally agree. I mean, look at me. I'm sitting here at first with all my players intact because I picked first every round.
I'm getting more and more into this t-shirts idea.
And who's going home for my tribe? You think Patrick could go home, but I got Allie, I got Jessica, I got Joe, I got Cole, and I got Ashley. Ashley could probably go home, but that was also my last pick, and you guys have already lost.
Well, these are all people that we've talked about potentially going home pre-merge.
Potentially.
We've
talked about a lot of people.
We have talked about a lot of people. Yes.
Just saying.
Oh, I just lost the tab.
I got you. Lucy Field. Patrick is absolutely awful. Don't find his screen time entertaining at all. Hope he goes as soon as possible. Wrong. Continue.
Bad. Actually, piggybacking off that, I think Lauren is the winner. She is stubborn, which is always great to get your way. Wrong. That is a very bad way to get. That is a very bad way to get what you want.
Phil and Alexa will now answer things with wrong. That's it. I don't think that you're a winner if you're stubborn. I mean, most people who are stubborn on this show end up going home because they refuse to see it. I mean, look at Brenda when she got voted out in Nicaragua. That's like one of the most perfect examples of don't be stubborn on Survivor. Also,
stubborn is just like being stubborn is not a great like life quality for getting what you want ever.
Yeah, exactly.
This is a good one. Giovanni Oriana is Patrick the Tigger of Survivor. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, he's just jumping around and he's orange.
Yeah. Literally bouncing.
Yeah. Giovanni, the only way for Patrick and Alan to win is to take each other. Hope it's final two. Otherwise, they just wasted 8 weeks of their lives. Well, they didn't waste 8 weeks of their lives because they're going to make a little bit of money out of this. So
Yeah.
Patrick's going home to a company that he already owns, and Alan has plenty of money. So pretty sure that they're going to be just okay.
Yeah, they're going to be perfectly fine. Haley Vic 17. Allie's hairstyle changes every scene she's in. Hashtag the boredom is real. She has incredible hair, especially for not having showered in a week.
Yeah, her hair is quite large.
Quite voluminous.
Yeah. Haley Vic 17, Ryan's birthday party analogy is akin to Jericho's moving car analogy on Australian Survivor. Oh, see, I don't watch that, so I don't know.
I know. We have an Australian Survivor and a BB19 comment coming up.
Trying to sound smart and analytical just for the sake of it. But if you think about it, it doesn't really make that much sense. Okay. Lauren likening travel to a funeral is more accurate. I agree with that. The funeral thing was much more accurate.
Yeah, the funeral thing was good.
Go to Logchi.
Yeah, I was about to do that. Logchi. Hey, Phil and Alex, I'm such a big fan. I'm so glad my friend showed me this. How do you think the healers' tribal dynamics are, and who do you think has the best chance of winning from each tribe? Also, do you think hashtag aquadumped curse is true? So I think so. Apparently, like everyone aquadumps, but if it's talked about, then you go home.
Then you go home.
Yeah, it can't be mentioned. It has to be a very like out of sight, out of mind kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
But thanks for joining us. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you like it.
Yeah, and then in terms of how do I think the healers tribe dynamic is, I think that it's Cole and Jessica together. Cole and Jessica together. Cole and Joe right now are aligned, but they're going to end up going against each other. It seems like Desi and Rourke are kind of quiet, hanging off to the side. They almost remind me of like Dana and God, what was the other girl's name? Katie. Like the two of them were just kind of like always there on the tribe, like, hey, what's going on? Hey, what's going on?
We're still here.
And they're both out. That's kind of what they're reminding me of. But we'll see. We'll see, because I don't think we're done with Rourke yet, especially. I'm not sure what's going to happen with Desi.
Yeah, and that's what we were saying earlier in the podcast. We just don't know what to do with half the healers tribe because they haven't lost and we haven't gotten a lot of them. Mm-hmm. Cool. Logchi again. What were the 12 locations that were used in Will's challenge? Off the top of my head, well, Guatemala was not one of them.
Yeah.
We had, let me see how many I can get. We had Panama, Cambodia, we had Vanuatu. Who else do we have, Phil? I only got 3.
I'm going to be honest with you. Here's what the problem is. The original challenge didn't have the names on it, so I don't know. Because if I knew, I could just pull it up and be like, oh, Will sent me the PDF anyway, so I can look at it. But it didn't have the names of the locations on it, so I don't know. And I didn't really go back and relook.
Yeah. Okay. Well, in that case,
supposedly the healers took theirs down, though, after they won. I think Joe tweeted that and said we were doing something smart that they didn't show. I think the healers took theirs down, and that's why the other people couldn't cheat. And that's why Patrick looked over and said, put that one back. And when they put it back, it still smacked into it because I think he was looking over at the healers who had mixed theirs up.
Oh, they mixed theirs up. That's even better.
Yeah.
That's good. That's actually really smart.
Nilly Knickknack. First of all, you have to give Will some love for that puzzle. It's so unique and interesting to watch everyone struggle with it. Anyway, who do you guys think is in the most danger to get screwed by a swap? We've talked about that to death, but I did give plenty of love to Will. If you go read what I wrote, you'll see that I just didn't stop loving Will.
Yes.
So
yeah, which is very weird.
Yeah, exactly.
Giovanni Oriana, the relationship between Phil and Will is a lot like Jay and Adam. You two used to fight a lot during these podcasts. That's a pretty good one.
Yeah, but only Will cries. I don't cry. So
and they end up liking each other at the end, which is not the happy ending. That
yeah, no, we don't get a happy ending, and only Will cries. So
exactly.
But I want to be the Adam because I want to be the winner. So I don't really know what to do here. Logchi, do you think Ryan's talk about the super idol could be foreshadowing something other than him and Chrissy working together? What if Tribal that sent Malcolm home and Game Changers come back and Chrissy sends Ryan home before he can tell her? Conspiracy theory. They're not bringing that back this season. I think we would have heard about that if they were.
No, yeah, they're definitely not bringing that back. And they probably, like, whenever they introduce new twists, they're probably not going to do it the immediate season afterwards.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Except for Redemption Island. But how did that work out for them?
Arts 13, question about the Healers tribe. Do you think they'll be the next Koror, Tandang, Tabua? We already compared them to Tandang, but comparing them to Tabua is a really good comparison. Because there are people who want to play, they just can't.
Which one's Tavua? Why am I not?
Tavua was Game Changers. The Sari, Andrea, Ozzy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that crew.
So I guess really he's more comparing it to just the fact of, hey, they're all going to hit the merge.
Yeah, they're never gonna lose.
Yeah. Hey, for some reason, when I refresh my page, I have no comments. So
Oh, that's weird.
Continue.
Hold on, I gotta refresh too.
Oh God, we're killing it now.
Oh my God.
I'll go over to Twitter and read the rainforest. Can we get T-shirts that say I like Alexa better than Phil? Yeah, you can make one yourself because I'm not making that for you.
I'll make that for you.
Yeah, Alexa will. Alexa will spend all her money to make people think that she's.
Yeah, who needs money when I can have pride?
Exactly. God, yeah. For some reason, I can't get mine to load. I don't know if my internet's being weird. So what do you got?
All right, let me go to actually, I think we're. Wait. So William Fauntleroy. I'm sorry if I butchered your name there. Because wait, will you do JP's cold takes after he's booted? So I kind of already do JP's cold takes. So every time I post 5 hot takes and then I respond to them with things that JP did. So I guess they're more like lukewarm takes. But when he's voted out, I'll probably do like a big JP thing. I don't know what I'm gonna do yet, but I have some ideas.
Yeah, you got to do something. I mean, I'm curious if he's ever going to get voted out, though. I think he's just going to go on. Maybe he'll just go on and win the game.
Yeah. Colorful shooting. Who do you think will go further, Lauren or Chrissy? That's a Chrissy. No questions asked. Yeah.
Yep. Totally.
And then last one, Beckett Stillman. Once the swap hits, are there any strong relationships you picture forming, i.e., Rourke and Allie or something like that? I could see like Rourke and Desi scooting over to hanging out with Allie. I feel like, and I'm definitely saying that because I've seen them all hanging out on Instagram together. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think that could happen. I think Ben and Chrissy are going to move on. I think they're probably going to scoot over with Ryan. So that right now there's either going to be like 2 big power teams or it's all going to be kind of one weird snake of a team.
Okay, I'm listening. I like hearing Alexa's little take on that. I don't really know what to say.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's way too early to tell.
Yeah, I like that we gave ourselves the heart out of 12:30 and we hit noon anyway. Look at us doing these hour podcasts.
Yeah,
cruising.
I'm loving these hour podcasts. Yeah.
Yeah, no, this is great.
So, did we already score Bootless and Prop Bet? I did MVP, LVP.
No, I don't know. Did you read them out? We didn't read them out.
No, I didn't read them out. I was waiting for you.
You know where they are? Oh, I don't have them written down.
Oh God. You know what? Why don't we make that our first Facebook post?
Yeah, exactly. I think we should throw that on Facebook immediately after this podcast so people can find it.
Yeah, okay. That's what we'll be doing. We're going to post MVP, LVP. We're going to post Bootless score, Prop Bet score, all of that on the Facebook page right after this.
There you go.
So yeah, check in with us on Wednesday. Going to be going live at midnight Eastern, 9 p.m. Pacific. I will not be talking to Phil for the next 3 days in case I spoil him. In general, it's going to be the best 3 days of both of our lives.
There you go.
In the meantime, leave us a comment on this video after the episode airs. Keep an eye out for my hot takes right after the Eastern time episode and Phil's Phil 5 after the podcast.
Yes, which is going to keep going. The 5.
Yes, and the 5. Like a lot of emphasis on the PH.
The really fat 5.
Follow us on Twitter. Give us a like on Facebook. We only have like 100 likes, but we have almost 1,000 followers on Twitter. So if you need more Survivor content from us, which you know that you do, give us a like.
There you go. So we will see you Wednesday and enjoy football today because that's what you should be watching. Go Lions. Go
Lions. Go Canes.
Go Canes. Yeah, more importantly, go Canes.
Go Canes.
Let's go read some articles about crying FSU fans.
Oh, my favorite.